Don't forget to smash that bell, guys. I'm just throwing it out there because people ask me all the time, why don't you make more videos? Like I make them every week. Every week. YouTube just not giving them to you. So smash that bell, add me on Instagram, add me on Twitter, and let's do this thing. Enjoy today's Nerd Motivation. I've been asked how to reject people, which is difficult because I've spent a lot of my life being rejected myself. And so I have to really go into like the history books of Chris. The days of yore, when I was a young man with hair and literally no muscles. I was like Mr. Skinny Bean Bean guy, right? And I would always have these crushes on different girls, and I would, let them know that, and then the alternate response would be, no? Please, no! 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 And yet, there were some people who were more delicate than others. And I often think that the best way I've ever been rejected was when a person was straight up. They didn't like play around with it. They didn't like, toy with your heart. They didn't like pull you along. They were just like, hey, you're a great guy. I just don't like you like that. And that's okay, And all you can really do from that is dust yourself off and realize there are other fish in the sea. There are other people to focus on. Rejection feels like it's going to destroy your entire life. It feels like it's going to be the thing that breaks someone. But believe it or not, people are more resilient than you can give them credit for. People really do know sometimes when they're shooting for the moon. And so when you reject someone, be kind. Don't go, ha ha, you want to date me? No! In some cases, I've had people, fans of this YouTube channel, reach out to me and express crushes or express other feelings. And I've had to be nice about it because, of course, as you guys know, I have a girlfriend. And I have to, kind of be like, hey, thanks, I really appreciate that. But of course, I got this situation going on over here. And I don't really know you. You got to let them know the real truth. Because sometimes when people have crushes, they don't live in reality. They kind of live in their own head. They live in a place of kind of, it's a great dream world to be in. But they kind of forget these blockades, such as, the person being with someone else, or the person not really knowing who you are deeply. Because I guarantee you, and I'll do a video on this later, whoever your crush is, whoever you like, whatever celebrity that you fap to, whatever it may be, it takes like roughly 6 months in a relationship to really get to know the person that you're dating. And in that 6 months, you find out things that you didn't really pay attention to because your body and your feelings were really controlled in part by endorphins. You're high off that love, high off that enjoyment. But I go back to saying that your crush definitely farts because you need to know that rejection piece needs to come as truthfully as possible because you don't realize how deep they are in. You don't realize how much they've been building up the idea of you and not who you truly are. So when I rejected people, I've always kind of like put myself down a little bit by putting myself on a more human level. So I'll kind of reach out to them like, hey, hey, thanks, I really appreciate that, but honestly, I'm not in a place to do that right now. Or if you are in a place to do that, but just not with that person, it's okay to say like, hey, you're great, but honestly, we don't know each other that well. And honestly, I feel like, you might be better suited for someone else. You don't really know me. You don't really understand who I truly am. And I really want you to be happy as a person because I want you to appreciate people. And I don't think I'd be good for you. I just don't think I would be. And they can insist, no, no, you're definitely good for me. I'm like, you don't know me. And it's flattering and it's awesome, but you deserve someone who's gonna want to be with you. I feel like the most famous rejection story of all time is likely found in the books and pages, and maybe even the TV screens of the X-Men. Wolverine, Logan had a big crush on Jean Grey, and Jean Grey was dating Cyclops. And she always was kind of into, Wolverine a little bit because he had that animal magnetism and claws, because, the potential to be scratched is sexy, apparently. But anyway, she always kind of liked him a little bit, but she was in love with Scott, Cyclops, a guy who you can't look into his eyes because he's going to melt your face. So Wolverine would always go after Jean pretty aggressively, and she always told him no. She always said no. But Wolverine was like, no, man, I'm going to keep trying. No, man, I'm not going to give up. No, man, I'm going to wear you down. And he never did. He never really did. Wolverine had a lot of great loves, but I don't think he ever really let go of the fact that Jean wasn't his type. Or rather, he wasn't her type. And I think the way that Jean let him down, though, was the best way to do it, which is to be straightforward. She didn't go, well, I kind of like you, but you know, I'm seeing Scott. No, she was just like, nah, I mean, like, you know, like you got that whole, you know, small, short, hairy thing going for you, but I'm with this guy, and that's the end of the story. That's it. I'm not playing games with you, man. I like this guy, and I don't like you. If my situation changes, maybe we'll talk, and if it doesn't, we won't. And that's it. I think a lot about the ending to Mario Odyssey, where, you know, Princess Toadstool, and this is not a spoiler because you don't watch or even play Mario games for the story. We know that, okay? So no spoiler. It doesn't matter. You're not playing that for the story. So at the end of the game, basically Mario's like, yo girl, I just saved you. Here's some flowers. Let's get married. And then Bowser's like, no, I got these piranha flowers, so marry me. And she's like, I don't need no man. I'm gonna go do my own thing. And she rejects both of them. And she, once again, is very, very direct. If you're noticing a theme here, it's be direct. Don't be mean, but be direct. Don't leave someone with an iota of hope. Don't leave someone wondering, you know, like, oh, I don't know, maybe she does like me, she just didn't say it yet. No. Reject straightforward, reject honestly, and reject kindly. The way you do that is just saying what you're thinking, but put it into some kind of a box that allows it to be digested by someone without hurting them. And all you have to really say is, hey, I'm not interested. I think you're great, but I just don't want that right now. Hey, I'm in a different place in my life. Hey, you know, I like someone else. You know, just, it's not hard. Rejecting someone does suck and it puts you in a weird position, but suck it up a little bit and put yourself out there to be real and help someone else move on from the idea of you. I feel like whenever you start dating and you start going out there, putting yourself out there, it's really important to realize that you're going to face a lot of rejection as you date. It's a numbers game mostly. So the more you date, the more opportunity you have to meet people, the more opportunity you will be, you know, rejected. I know the last time I was single, I went on, I don't know, like a bajillion dates, like a bajillion, that's not a real number, a lot of dates. And it took me time until I met one girl that I really liked. I was actually like in the midst of like not being a player, but I was, you know, single, so I was seeing several girls. It was one girl, you know, I just liked hanging out with, but I didn't really feel any strong feelings towards. There was one girl that, you know, I couldn't tell if she liked me or not. She was kind of shy and sheepish, but she still hung out with me every week. I felt like it was just out of habit. And when I ended things with her, she didn't seem to care. She was like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, I had one girl got really mad about it. And then I had another girl that, like, you know, I found out later was on a break from her past boyfriend and was dating me on the interim until she figured it out. But in the reality, she still loved the guy she was with. And that goes into the rejection idea because you don't know people's stories. You don't know people's situations. You don't know what they're going through when they reject you. You don't know what they're going through when you reject them. So it's really important to be upfront as possible. Like, you're not doing this because you're trying to hurt anyone. You're not doing this because, you know, you just don't like them and they repulse you. You're doing this because you don't want to hurt another human being in a way that you yourself may have been hurt in the past. And so I make this video to really just kind of point out that it's important to remind yourself that we're all human and to handle this as delicately as possible. And that person has been rejected before, and they will be rejected again. And it's not your job to baby them and lie to them and make them think that, you know, things are going to happen that aren't going to happen. It is your job, however, to be honest and straightforward and not pull any punches. But don't go out to punch, if that makes sense. You know, if you're going to tell someone, hey, you're not my type, they'll have to just take that. Like, I know that's honestly one of the best things I've heard too. They allow me to move on a lot quicker, and that's kind of what you want to do. It's like maybe even the "you're not my type" statement, and they'll go, "Oh, okay, that's it." Because I mean, there's not a lot you can argue. Like, you can't like become a different type. You can't go, "All right, well, I'm not your type. Well, I'm gonna go become your type right now." You know, they can try, but they will ultimately fail because they aren't who you want to be with at that moment. What I'm really trying to get to is that you want to know how to reject people. You want to know how to do it the right way. You want to do it in a kind way. And in my opinion, the two most common statements you can say are, "You are not my type, but you'll make someone else happy anyway," or I'm not in a place for a relationship right now. I'm just not there right now. You're great, but I'm not looking for that. And I wish you luck. And that's all you can really do, is just be honest, be straightforward, and be kind. You don't need to say things like, well, you're weird, or if you've been me, I like you, but I only like you like a brother. Like, that is like, ugh, to any man. If you are a woman watching this video, don't tell a man that. Don't say I only like you like a brother. Don't say that, because that makes you feel like weird. You're like, oh, gross, ooh, you know? Just say, hey, you know, you're not my type, but you're great. I like you for you know, friendship, but I don't like you for other things. And that's okay. Because people in time do come around sometimes. But it's better to be honest than it is to be not honest. And that's where I'm going to end today's Nerd Motivation. If you dug this video, and I think you did, because you're here and you're watching the end of it, give me a thumbs up. Please sub to the video, smash that like button, smash that bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Check out these other videos, and Amber, you still important.